Okay, yeah, thank you. Yeah, so my name is Brian, and by now you people must have known me. So for you to reach this far, I know it has taken some time, and you've heard my voice over and over again, what we call times without number. And some of you have even told me that nowadays, even when you sleep, you can hear my voice. So, so of course, you know how I speak, you know what I mean, you know how. But anyway, to this far, I want to say that you've made it and you're there. So today I'm just going to take a little bit of your time just to have a chit chat so that we see how things are going and all those things. So now, what I'm going to say is that the course that you guys have enrolled in is really is almost done. Huh? The course is almost done. And I think now you're in the final stages, summarizing what exactly you are supposed to cover during a given period of time. And of course, I was told like saying a period of time. It's like tautology. I know now you understand what tautology is, so I can just write here tautology. Unnecessary repetition, okay? And then other than tautology, you have something known as elegant variation. So I don't know. Have you heard about that? Elegant variation. So we have another thing known as elegant variation that is it's more closely related to tautology, but it's like in a sentence. Like for example, you see some guys writing a sentence. Then in that sentence, you're repeating a word. I don't know. Okay, I don't know what I say. What I can say. A good example is like. Okay, I will show you some on the review reports of right all academics. I'm going to show you what elegant variation is. Okay, so you should not repeat a word like 3 times or 4 times or even 2 times in a sentence. Okay, it really sounds so monotonous. So it's a good it's a good practice that maybe you use a synonym or something like that, so that even Grammarly is going to suggest for you such things anyway. So today I just want us to have a chit chat. So what is a chit chat? You are going to talk, you are going to see, and today is not a formal class where we are going to be tested something that is difficult, but I'm just going to give you the reality of things, okay? I'm just going to tell you how things are here so that you do not have over expectations, okay? You should just know uh, what you're going to expect and yeah, and that's all. So now by now you guys have gone through grammar, so I know now your grammar. I think the grammar quizzes are the ones that were most hectic, because now grammar quizzes are usually administered in week 2, and that is the time whereby now things get a little bit. Yeah, I understand, because even making those modules, you know how it was structured, but it was good to know the difference between grammar and mechanics and how each of those people can make common mistakes. Okay, so there are mistakes that we do not want you guys to have, or rather to make, when you are submitting your work, because you guys are kind of advanced now. Uh, so I've talked about elegant variation. You can also look another word, which is anaphora. I'll just write it here. Yeah, you can try to look what that means. And there's another word known as pleonasm, something of that. All these are fault of style, and you can just try to see what it means. And basically, there are many. Okay, tautology. You guys know what tautology is. Yeah. So another thing I'll say that in academic writing, and these are things that I even see with people who are advanced. In academic writing, how many words do you think a sentence should be? Okay, so I'll just answer it. In academic writing, you're supposed to write about 15 to 20 words per sentence. Okay, don't have very long sentences. Okay, Don't have very long sentences, because very long sentences, they lead to what is known as a parallel constructions. Okay, and these parallel constructions at the end of the day can lead to confusion. Okay, so by now you guys know what parallel constructions are. Okay, and you know what even the problems that these parallel constructions bring. Okay, so I don't expect you guys to have run-on sentences, to have commas places. Okay, run-on sentences, commas places. Most of those things misplace modifiers. I don't know what, dangling, squinting modifiers. So I expect you to be good, and I don't expect you to end your your sentences with prepositions. To try as much as possible. And then one thing I'll give you as a tip anyway, free of charge. Try to minimize the use of passive voice, even if it is it's acceptable. Try to minimize it. Why? There's some professors who detest, okay, who loathe, okay. This loathe is the is rather a synonym of detest, okay. Who hate. Let me just use the basic English. Who hate the use of passive voice. So I really expect you guys to minimize your use of passive voice as much as possible, okay? And sometimes even orders come with instructions that you should not have a passive voice. About language, I okay, I've received comments from graders that you guys, some of you are saying that the language that is normally used in academic writing is British, English. So let me just correct you here. The language that is used is American English, okay? Unless stated otherwise, okay? So one thing I'll tell you, American English is a little bit uh, it's easier, okay? Okay, according to me, it's easier, but for most people, this British English they find it easier because why? Because first we were colonized by the British, because of our colonization, okay? So one thing I'll really say is that this aspect of English, make sure Grammarly is the one that will assist you anyway, and that's why it's a writing tool to assist you. Okay, Grammarly will tell you which type of English you're using. So make sure that Grammarly settings are set to American English. And if you don't know how to set, I think I can just demonstrate here. And this Grammarly version that we've shared with you guys usually has some challenges because you see people, so when somebody is doing is handling an order that is in American English, they tend to set that Grammarly to that language, and uh, they don't set it back to American. But the standard is usually the standard is usually, I'll just open Grammarly. It's usually American English. So I'm just going to open Grammarly, uh, and I'm going to get in so that I show you where exactly you are going to find that place. You are going to choose the language and the preferences on something like that. But anyway, it's not a thing that you guys are supposed to struggle with because it's something so minute, and although it's something that you have to be careful because when you write an order in a different language than what is expected, it will basically be sent back for revision. Okay, so it's a thing that I'll really tell you guys to learn how to work around it. Now this is Grammarly, and so for instance, I want to change the language of this account. I think what I will do, let me just close that. So these are as you can see, we're in Grammarly, and if you want to change the language that is being used here, sometimes there is something like a settings button here. Sometimes it disappears, but either way, you can just go to account. When you go to account, you give it some time, it's loading. Then after it goes to the account, yeah, there's a place you go to the settings, then you go to the settings, you go to language preference, and then like now here, I can come here to, now this is account, okay? Let me just come here to customize, and then we go to the side of language here. language. And then when you come to the language settings now, you can set, like this one, you can see it has already been set to American English. But of course, you have options for other types of English, okay? So let's see what other types of English are there. We have American, Canadian, and Australian English. So you can choose. One good example is there was a question that was really asked in the previous quiz, and most of you failed. Okay. In fact, I really don't know how many people got that question. I'm trying to see. Is it to cater to or to cater for? Okay. There are things I like just to tell you. Okay. To cater to, what is the difference between catering to versus catering for? Okay. Now, in the thing is, okay, catering to is American English. Okay. This is American, huh? And then catering for, this is British English. Now, those are difference. Another difference is like practicing. Like for you, when you write in British English, it's going to be practicing with an S, okay? But in American English, practicing, okay, practice is both a verb and a noun with a C, okay? Practice with a C. So these are some minute differences, okay? But Grammarly will definitely guide you. So make sure you set to American English, otherwise you're going to fail that order. So those are some things that I've seen now that mimi niko na ujuzi katika hii sector. So that's why I'm telling you to be careful so that you don't find yourself in a bad place. Okay. Other than Grammarly, I'll tell you now. You guys, for this course, now that you've done this course, you've covered only about 5% of what is expected of you in academic writing. Okay. So this course usually advances into a higher level. Okay. And I'll tell you, academic writing is really a big thing, and it has some future. Okay. It has a future, and it has been there, and books have even been published, okay, for academic writing. So it's not a thing that you can say that this is a joke. And if you can't understand, if you really can't believe me, I can just try to show you some of the books that have been published for academic writing. Okay, so I'm just going to take some photos here so that I can show you what happens. Maybe I can just see, maybe I think it's this one. Let me see. I also have another one here. So let's see. I'm just going to take you through some photos so that we see together. This is not what I want to show you. I also don't want to show, but you can see even ladies nowadays they're in academic writing. Na unaweza ona hata hiyo computer natumia. This is an Apple computer. Look at how slim it is, how convenient. Okay. So yeah. Okay, let me just see. I think I just went overboard. No. Okay, there's this one here, which is a book. So this is actually a book, and if you go search, you're going to find it. It's written. If you want to know more about academic writing, and I'm a person who loves this book. So if you want to read, it's a very interesting one. It talks a lot about academic writing, the dynamics of knowledge creation, and all those things. And the other books, by the way, you see, like for me, I'm a person who likes reading, so that's why I find it easy for me to be here. Like I can show you even some books. I think I just I had some, and there's a place I usually go to download some books and I read. And generally, because of now, there's this book here, Becoming an Academic Writer. This is a book, and then we have another book here, Academic Writing by Zemach Romisek. Writing to Learn, Writing Basic Essays, something like that. So all these are books written by very good authors that personally I credit and okay, you can ask me for the books if you want, but sidhani kama mutazi enjoy because the things that I like most people do not. Okay, so all these are books and you can see the pages. For 12 pages, take your time, read through and see what is expected. Nini. So even structuring this course, you see, like you guys nowadays are assuming that these things we create them from our head or tulitengeza course nini, but I can tell you all these things have foundations and basis. So yes, and these are basically this is another picture that can tell you. You have to choose what to write about. You have to choose the topic and you stick to the topic. Now I'll just talk briefly about this. Going off topic ni wewe mwenyewe unajitakia, by the way, because you don't want to sit down and think. But the moment you sit down, plan and think before you write, you will even start to enjoy writing, okay? But kama wewe uko hapo utengeze pesa and you don't want to sit down and think and plan, then I'm sorry my friend, you'll get frustrated. Yeah. And then knowledge, understanding and research. You might know something, you might not know, but of course there's this bit known as research. Okay? So whatever you are doing or whatever assertion you have, kindly give it support or evidence, okay? So that it seems to be, so that it's at least closer to the truth. Because mtu akishaona kuwa maybe you cited this, okay, that's where citation and references come in. You've cited people, you've cited what, okay? And then you are really making your claims stronger. So you're strengthening your claims. And then when you come to analysis, looking for key points, of course, when you're analyzing something, how do you analyze the topic? How do you analyze your points? How do you express yourself? Okay? So that's the good thing about writing. You really have to know how to express yourself, use vocabulary that is good. I'm going to show you some essays written by professionals here. And then you tell me how they look like. And then your argument, which side do you favor? If at all now it's an argumentative essay, or if it's anything, then there are some situations that you have to conclude, okay? And you're concluding by taking a stance. And then, okay, evaluation, of course, synthesis, linking authors together, okay? Organization. Now, most people don't want to have this part. And if you don't have organization, you definitely fail. I won't have to lie to you. Voice, what you believe is important, isn't it? Then you have the conclusion, of course. So you have to conclude, you introduce the topic, you go to the body, and as you've learned right now, there's that thing which is called the thesis statement. Make sure you have that very strong thesis statement, okay? And I'm told even this, it's usually in the first paragraph. So your first paragraph, that introductory, okay, must be catching, okay, must be catching to the reader, as in you grasp the reader's attention, okay? Grasp is to hold and not release. Unashika attention yake kabisa. And how can you do that? Sometimes you can use a joke, you can begin with a joke, and then you grasp the reader's attention. But in academic writing, you don't really have to do this because it's normally formal, okay? These jokes, you can begin with them during maybe informal writing or something like that. And then you can also begin with a proverb. A proverb, can you cite a proverb? Proverb, it's difficult because you don't know who said it. Okay? Like right now, waambiwe ni nani alisema kuwa niyo dalili ya mvua ni mawingu. You really don't know, isn't it? You came, you found it, it has been there over and over again, but na imekuwa it has been It has been passed down over generations after generations, to an extent that we've even lost the person who said it in for the first time. Okay, haraka haraka haina baraka. We don't know who said that. Okay, Harari has no blessing. I don't know. Anyway, so but mostly I'll tell you, in serious academic writing, you will not really have to use these proverbs. That's an old style that I've seen mostly high schoolers use. So using similes, I don't know, as happy as a fiddle, I don't know what. Hizo sahau, please. I'll just tell you the truth. If you're good in composition in primary school, don't apply those skills in primary school here, because things might go helter skelter. Even words like this, helter skelter. I mean, okay, you can use them when you're talking, or when you're like me now that I'm here for a chit chit chat with you. I'm allowed to use them, but for you, I really don't expect you to be using them when when you are doing serious academic writing. Okay, so the thing is, I'll just have to tell you the truth. Uh, you guys, be as formal as you are, as you can. Use language that can be understood, because I've seen guys even having a problem whereby a person is writing something, a sentence that can be interpreted two times, or okay, can be interpreted in two different ways. Okay, like, okay, it's only that I don't have specific examples, but I'll tell you one thing. Some guys can write for you something, okay, and you interpret it this way, but in which case they might also interpret, for them they were intending to mean something else. So try to avoid these sentences that can give two different meanings, okay, because you don't know, the reader will usually, maybe the instructor is going to interpret it how. So don't usijifunge. One thing I'm going to talk about also is, like, let us talk a little bit about ethics, huh? Because that's another place whereby kumekuwa na issues. I'll talk about ethical dilemmas. Okay, let me just talk about ethical dilemmas. They are known as ethical dilemmas. Now, what is an ethical dilemma? I mean, these are situations whereby you find yourself, okay, assuming that you are a man, or okay, let me just be let me not be gender what. Okay, let me just consider. Assuming that you're a man or a lady, okay, of course you guys have eyes and have a nose and have a mouth. So assuming that you're a man or a lady and you find yourself in a situation whereby you really have to make a choice, ama kimeumana, that's what you guys say. Now those are what we call dilemmas, whereby you guys usually say finding yourself between a hard place and a rock, between a rock and a hard place. Now, what do you do? Now I'm going to give you a scenario. Assuming that you've accepted an order that is urgent, that it has to be done in 6 hours, and it's a 6-page order, isn't it? Then whilst doing this essay, you've done it let's say 3 hours down the line, you encounter an emergency. And an emergency is like maybe there's a blackout, stima ikipotea, and maybe your computer is not one that uses a battery, it's a desktop. So you don't have any way to continue. So what do you do in that situation? And when you look, it's an urgent order, of course, and you really don't know when the power is going to come back. And the rule is that once an order is accepted, it is you can never return it back. Okay, you cannot call the person who has given you the order and tell them, oh, stima imepotea, sijui what. So what do you do in that situation? My friend, I'll just tell yourself, I'll just tell you, in that situation, you have to sort yourself out. I'll not lie to you, because that's how the industry is. So usually, because of these challenges, we usually recommend guys to have laptops and not desktops. And if it is a laptop, make sure it has a good battery, such that when there's a power failure, okay, when there's a power failure, this laptop is going to you're going to continue working with the laptop on battery power. Okay, on battery power. So you continue working with the laptop on battery power, and then everything becomes good. And you, of course, you have a smartphone, so you're going to create a hotspot with your phone. You buy bundles and then create a hotspot on the phone. Then you continue working on your PC as if nothing happened. Okay, and then pray that you really have pray that you are really going to complete those tasks in time, so that the power does not come to an end without you really finishing the 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 order. Okay, or you can even increase your speed. Another thing I'll tell you, because these desktops computers ni hizi zenye nimechora hapa, for a PC I can just draw. A PC somebody can just draw even something like this. This is a laptop, okay, and then this is a desktop computer yenye stima ikipotea pia hii nayo inazima. Another thing, people nowadays, okay, you can also write in Google Drive. Huh? You can write in Google Drive. So Google Drive, it saves automatically. And if it saves, it just goes, saves, and then when you can access it in different devices, okay? You can even tell a friend of yours who is elsewhere to continue where you've stopped if you have if you give him the plan, if you have a plan. That's what I'm saying. It's good to have a plan, because things can happen, and you're going to have these things called contingency analysis. Let me just use these terms. Contingency, it's like I was born in America. I have good English. Okay. So I'm talking of contingency. Contingency ni kujipanga. That's a contingency plan, okay? I'm going to use the language that you guys use. Kujipanga. So what is your contingency plan now? If power fails. Now, okay, me, I can easily go to Google Drive and create a Word document there, and I work. Now, I'm going to demonstrate how to go to Google Drive. Now, let me just go to my email here and show you. You see, I don't want you to see as if I'm talking from the moon. Now, this is my email, okay? So for me now, I will just come to these dots zenye zinakaa kama keypad, and then I'll go to Drive here, and then I'm gonna give it some time to load. Okay, don't worry, I'm in a very remote place, and that's why my internet is a little bit shaky. But when I go back to town, everything will be fast. Ni venye tu sasa, when I go back to town, I won't have time to create for you any material. So I've seen that I should just create for you now, so that you guys can know what you're supposed to do. Okay. So this is my drive. I've come to my drive, and what I want to do is to create our document and work on it from there. Okay, so I'll just come and see, and I'm going to open in Google Docs, and I'm going to open a blank document. Okay, so that's now, this one is this Google document is one that I can use now, typing and doing everything. Okay, as if I'm doing in a computer. So that's how it looks like, that Google document. So if at all I was writing about, I see you guys love this topic, McDonaldization, and I know some of you pia imewabo, unaona, lakini you have to learn, isn't it? And then it has the language here. You can choose the language if you want to, whichever language. You can download it if you're finished. Okay, you can download it as a Microsoft Word, as a PDF, as whatever type to. And then the language, you can see there's language here. You can choose Afrikaans. Afrikaans now, this is like Kiswahili and the others, okay? And then the good thing about this one now is this part of sharing. You can share it with your friends, so that you tell them, like, the good thing with a plan, and if you guys maybe know, na nyote mnajua venye mna communicate nini, saa stima imepotea kwenu, and you had the plan already. Let's say the plan was on McDonaldization, isn't it? I'm just going to show you. So you've said introduction 40 words. Let me see. You've already written introduction 40 words. You've written the body to be I don't know, conclusion 40 words, isn't it? Total was around something words. Body, I don't know how many words. It's a long time since I did that video. So, and then you've already divided that the body you're going to talk about the four major tenets of McDonaldization. That is control, isn't it? There's another tenet which was, I think after control, there's an aspect of efficiency, aspect of art. Just think and tell me, I can't hear you. So there's control, there's efficiency, there's many more. So you can just call your friend, like if assuming I have a friend somewhere and I want them, and I know I'm on a laptop and now I've created bundles and I'm not sure that I'm going to finish within time, I can just go on my Word document and I go copy. Okay, I go and copy the work that I've done. Let me just open a Word document and copy it. So assuming the work that I was doing, let me see, this is a review scheme, but I don't want to use that one. Training, okay, final exams, revision one. Is there something that I can really use? Let me see this one. Probably I'm going to use this one. Now this one, no, you can't use this one. I want something that is real work. Let me just go to the CEO. Probably I'll get something there. So yeah, so assuming I'm doing this job of criminal justice. So now this is how the order looks like anyway. Naona venye ni safi. Now that's how I expect your work to look like. Iko na DOI, iko na nini. So now you guys have everything, but now because of time and what you're not sure, just copy this one, you control A, and you copy it, and then you come to your Google Docs, and then here you paste it. Okay, so you see, it has been pasted. It has gone in the formatting, everything. So when it's here now, you can really access it when you share it. So you can even share with Right All Academics here, isn't it? You can change the name. The differences between, okay, save, let's just save it to that name. And then you go to share. Or you can just share it from here. From file share. And then you just send the links, sharing, so people can edit. So if, for example, you do the first part, you give someone else to do the second part. Okay, something like that. I really want it to share. I don't know what's happening. Imekuja ikapotea. I think it's because of the network, so it's slow. But when you see now it comes to imekuja mingi. So okay, so you share and then you come here to what's happening. There are too many commands. Okay. Anyway, let it resume first, or I'll just reload this tab so that you avoid problems. So you can share it, and then when you share the link with someone else, your friend can continue the work from where you are. Okay, from where hapo huko kwenye wako ataendelea tu kuandika because they've been given that privilege to edit this document. So you can go to share. Let's let it load. I'm sorry, today my comp is kind of slow, but I've decided to just do this video today so that I can at least finish up with you guys, because I don't see the need for you not finishing these things. So I'm going to share with you these things. So resharing is unavailable at this time. Please try and it. I think it's because it's loading. So basically, that's the need. Now, okay, I'll just take us to the next step. This is where it brings us to the thing which we call, now it's here now. So when you share, you are the owner, so you'll come here, but then you can change to anyone with the link, okay? And then you copy this link, isn't it? When you copy this link now, you email your friend this link or you give them through WhatsApp or whichever way you go, you give them the link, okay? And then you can change. The person who has the link can be an editor or a viewer. Now viewer will just see but will not be able to write anything. Yatakuwa naona tu, isn't it? But if you're an editor, now you can see. If you're a commenter, you can only comment. So basically it's just something like that. So everything here is like Word, and you can see, of course it's not like 100%, but you can do almost everything. Okay, so you can come and you can see like this paragraph has no indent, so I'm going to highlight this paragraph here, and I'm going to assuming if you want to format, basically it's you can format everything here. It's a matter of you to know, okay? And if you understand these things, then definitely there's nothing that is going to really become difficult. So you can just go here, even page numbers around here, line, paragraph spacing, do easy. Okay, keep it next together, add space before paragraph, after paragraph, columns, headers, footers, clear formatting. So there are many things that are here. So it's about you really understanding what you want to do. Yeah. So me, I have no issues. You just get your way through this. But I'll tell you, it's easier if you have a laptop, because you'll have time to do all this and share your work to someone else, or just email them and you have no. And when somebody is working on the paper, you can see that they are working. Okay. But if you have a plan now, you'll just call them and tell them, now I was planning to write an introduction this way, I was planning to write the body this way, I was planning to write a conclusion this way. So just do. Then when the order is paid, we'll share the money at 40 to 50%. Maybe I take 40, you take 60, maybe I take 50, depending on the number of words that people have written. So if, for example, the total order was 900 words, and I'd only written 300, then basically I'll give you money for 600 words, okay? So now that brings us to this thing known as need for cooperation, okay? Need for cooperation. So this need for cooperation is really important because it really helps you writers to communicate, to assist one another in terms of problems, and generally it's going to improve the reliability of your work, okay? The reliability of your work. Now, for me, I even have these things known as UPS, so that when there's a power failure, uh, I'm still proceeding as if there's a power, because I have an interruptible power supply, which is a UPS. And my UPS, this one is an online UPS. So if you're doing engineering, I think you understand what an online UPS is. Anyway, I want to go to the technical details of those ones. Yes. So the other thing I'll talk about is jargon in this academic field. Okay. So let's talk about what is known as jargon. Now, what exactly, jargon, isn't it? Those informal languages that people use. And a good example, of which you guys know by now, is this thing known as CPP. They're not exactly CPP. CPP is an abbreviation of cost per page. Okay, so that one is not an issue. And then we have something known as POD. Okay, what exactly is POD? this is paid on delivery. Like if you're told that this job is POD, inamaanisha kuwa immediately umemaliza, okay, hiyo kazi inalipwa at that very moment. So like today I had a POD order. Today I gave somebody a POD order, which was just to do an exam. Like I gave them some logins to log into that portal and do an exam. And when they finish the exam with a score of 40/40, I'm going to give them 1,000 shillings, okay? And that is what happened, because I can even show you my M-Pesa statement. I paid those guys 40 shilling, not 40 shillings. I paid those guys 1,000 shillings for a very simple order, and they were happy because it was an exam. Let me just show you how it is. And these guys performed very well until I was very pleased. I was very pleased. So let me see if I can even see the order here, but it should be here on my downloads. One of it. Yeah, these quiz results here. So when you come to the quiz results, you can see this guy scored 40/40 today. And I told them immediately I see the result is 40/40, you get 1,000 shillings. So this guy did this job in 30 minutes na alikuwa shatengeza thao. So we have guys who are serious out here. Multiple choice questions, only 20, and the guy got 1,000 shillings. I mean, so POD is that one. Then you have one known as POA, yenye wanaita POA, paid on approval. So in this case, whatever happens is you will submit work, and the work will only be paid upon approval. So I can just get you randomly and I tell you. And okay, most jobs by there are paid on approval. Even these jobs that we give you guys, you'll of course not going to be paid if the job is not approved. But people misuse this term, paid on approval. Like if you're paid on approval and your job is not approved, it's supposed to be brought back to you for revision, okay? That is the thing I know. But if it is not brought back to revision, mtu anakwambia tu that job failed so it won't be paid, then there's a problem, okay? Unless if it is a mathematics order, because mathematics ukianguka umeanguka na inamaanisha kwa ujui na hutawaijua, okay? So but these other ones, I don't know what you'll be told. You'll even be given recommendations that, okay, the client did not approve that order because anataka kufanya hivi na hivi na hivi, or you didn't cover this and this. Could you consider revising that? Then you revise it, and after revising it, then the client approves, and then you wait for the time reaches, and then you're paid your money. Okay? And I read somewhere that POA is kuna watu wenye tu wakisha kuwekea wakwambie tu hiyo kazi ni POA, you know already this is somebody mtasumbuana, especially when it comes to payment. Okay? Of course, you guys will become desperate at some point and you'll just want to do an order. And I see nowadays, you guys, there are people even sending odd jobs. Like a friend of mine, basically, last time when I met with them, I went to their home on Sunday to eat some nyama choma. This friend of mine had a writer encrypt work in alipatiana kazi na writer akasema atafanya. He just got a random writer from the social media, okay? And the writer said that he's going to do, and but the writer said he's not. The writer put that assignment into a password. Yeah, okay. He encrypted that assignment with a password, okay, and delivered that work to this friend of mine. Then when my friend was accessing the work, it had a password, and so he couldn't access the work. And he called the writer and asked them, what's happening? Why can't I access? He said, I've put the password, but I've done the work. But I will not give you the password if you pay me, because I know you guys are tricky. You may not pay me. Okay? So wakasumbuana hapo hapo na pale until my friend decided to say, now I'll pay you half the money, okay? We had agreed that the order is going to be done by 3K, so I'm going to pay you 1.5K, isn't it? 1500, isn't it? So my friend sent that guy 1500, and then I was given the password. After being given the password, the document was indeed empty. Okay, was indeed what? Was indeed empty. But I told my friend, sasa wewe ndo hukujua kudeal na yeye, because for me I know how I can deal with these situations. Okay, so I will not tell you how I will deal with it, because now that is my intellectual property, and I know by now you guys have had that word, intellectual property. So if you want to know how to deal with those, you just enroll to the next level of academic writing training, still in East Academia, and maybe, God willing, I may be your tutor, and the syllabus is there, and actually that's what I do. I will show you using the syllabus how to avoid such kind of fraud, because indeed that is a fraud. Okay, so I've talked about CPP, I've talked about POD, I've talked about POA. Okay, another thing I'm going to talk about is word count. Now, word count basically, word count is generally one page, is usually one page, is 300 words, okay? One page is 300 words. However, I'll try to advise you. In this case, we are not counting the cover page. We are not counting the titles of the body. We are not counting the references. So word count generally does not include the cover page and the references, just the body. So for example, when you come to an order like this one, let me just show you how we count word count. Yes, an order like this one, you don't just come down here and say that this order is 387 words. You'll be wrong, my friend. If you want to count word counter, you come here. Hizi zenye ziko hapa juu kwa cover page, those ones you leave them. And this title here, you leave it. Okay? So you just highlight here, and then you go down until here. So that's the word count. So this is 324. So generally this one was just a one page. So you can see it's 324. So generally that was just a one page work. You guys have to buy me soda after this, because I've talked a lot, trying to share my knowledge, isn't it? My intellectual property. Yeah, so let me see how many minutes have we gone so far. We've gone 38 minutes. Now that's okay. So yes, now so word count is generally 38. Okay, one page is generally 300 words, but I'll tell you, write more words for you to be safe, because the references, even the in-text citation is not supposed to be counted as word count. So of course hapa ndani kuna in-text citations zenye zimehesabiwa and all that. Let me talk about another jargon, is ESL. ESL means English as a second language. So we have accounts that, and then we have another one which is NL, which is native language. So we have guys who usually write for ESL, which of course are more strict, and the other guys who are writing, which are writing for ESL, English second language. These are for non-English speaking countries. And then we have native language. Now these ones are more strict because the level of English is a little bit advanced. So when you come with the English that you speak, compositions are primary, definitely hapa, you are going to fail terribly when you're writing for these guys. But I prefer people to train here, and that's what you train guys. Like for us, East Academia, we usually train you guys to become native language, so that when you get an order for ESL, hii itakuwa mboga tu, itakuwa mswaki, isn't it? Something that you don't think twice, isn't it? Yes. Yeah, and there are many, by the way. I can even tell you we have English as lingua franca. English as a lingua franca. This is ELF. English as lingua franca. Now, this is a situation whereby you guys are assuming you're a Kenyan and who's speaking, let's say you're speaking Taita. Let me just say, okay, let me just say, like you're speaking Taita and English. Those are the only languages you know, isn't it? And then we have a Uganda here who is speaking Baganda, okay, who is speaking Baganda and English. So you guys cannot really communicate with your native languages, but you can, of course, communicate in English. So in that case, you guys are using English as what? As lingua franca. Wale wenye mmefanya fasihi high school, you know what lingua franca is. Yeah? So you shouldn't be able to be disturbing people because basically it's not a thing that is usually difficult to understand. So, and then we have English as first language, EFL. That's the difference between ELF and EFL anyway. It's English as first language. This one is usually mostly native language. It's the same as NL, the native speakers. So that one is not an issue. Yeah, because you really understand that one now. So if you hear NLs, EFL, yeah, and that's how those things are written there. So if you don't know these things, you'll definitely find yourself in the bad side of these things because you'll be out trying to understand, isn't it? So you are talking about the ethical dilemmas. Another ethical dilemma can come whereby, let's say, you are a writer who is a lady, isn't it? And then it reaches a point, maybe, of course, maybe you have a boyfriend somewhere who is very jealous. And then Rightful Academics has gotten an order and they want to assign it to you. And they call you at night, let's say ni saa nane usiku, and okay, enjoying the moment. But now there's a phone call that deals with money has come about, okay, here. So where you'll be thinking what? I'll assume you'll think about cash, okay. But this guy here is thinking about love, okay. I'll just draw love here. No, love is supposed to be drawn in red so that it really gives the meaning of love. So I'll just draw love, or pink because still love can be drawn in pink. So you're thinking cash. This guy is thinking about love, and sometimes they will see, hey, huyu mwenye amepiga. Okay, now you, because you're thinking about money and problems and future, you receive the call, and when you receive the call, this guy hears that the person who is speaking ni sauti yenye anasikia sahi, sauti nzuri, isn't it? Bass, what a more masculine voice, na maybe yes, sauti yake maybe haina sauti sana, unaona. Now you can even hear the bass that I'm having right now. Now, yes. So this guy gets jealous. Then he knows that mimi wana kupiga mpesa maybe to say after every 2 weeks. But na yeye ndo uone jina yake kwa mpesa maybe ni after 3 months ama nini. Unaona? So this guy becomes jealous. Now what happens in that situation? Because you have to make money, you have to work. Now mimi have no strings attached because I'm your employer, so I can't do anything, isn't it? So how are you going to solve that situation? So that one, I'm going to put a question mark because those are things that happen and those are things that I've seen happening in the industry. And I even had a situation whereby I had a guy known as Okech Michael, who was indeed very intelligent, and he played us for a fool. I'll just draw Okech here because he's a guy who in the Zoom meeting he came with a suit, okay, very dressed, amechana nywele mzuri, but you see this was just a white elephant. Okay, white elephant. But you see the good thing about us, we have systems in place to notice these things, or people who are jokers, or people who portray to be what they are not. Now, Okech huyu tulimpatia order akafanya, let's say the order was PowerPoint slides. The PowerPoint slides were to run for, there were 18 slides that were needed, and each slide was going to be paid 400 shillings. Okay, so he accepted the order and told us na tukamwambia, because we need that work urgently, we'll need you to send us progress after every slides. So every 6 slides you do, we told him 6. Every 6 slides you do, just send them to us so that we be sure that the work is going on, is progressing. Now, Okech himself, when he was accepting the job, he said, I will not even send 6 slides, I will send 3 slides. And we were very jubilant. Another word of very happy, of course, if you remember. Very happy, said is jubilant. So don't forget replacing this very plus adjective with a single word. So we were very jubilant, okay? When we saw even now this guy is even more industrious and he's going to send 3 slides instead of 6. So he's the man, he's the real man. To our surprise, 1 hour passed, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. Now the deadline imefika and we are calling Okech. Okech is telling us, just wait, I'm going to send 12 slides at a go. So after now, because he's assured us, said acha tusimsumbue, this is a mature person, ni mtu na akili zake, hadi anachapa masuti, unaona. So deadline imebaki 1 hour, tunaambia Okech, umemaliza? Okech say yes, I'm saying natuma sahi. Okay, so we saw Okech there nini, waiting, time ikapita, you see, and Okech has not even submitted anything. So I don't know what happened, but he used the same narrative, stima ilipotea, but later, so he didn't even explain. So like for us, we really don't take chances. What we did, we had to cancel Okech ever, and that was the end of our relationship, because we just told him, my friend, we can no longer work with you, so we are sorry, but it's rather unfortunate based on the circumstances that have occurred. So that was my story with Okech. Another situation, you might be in the middle of you might be sleeping at night and you're called to do some revision that the revision has 1 hour. What do you do in that situation? Now those are the challenges that you face anyway. You have to wake up and do the revision, otherwise usiporevise hiyo kazi haitalipwa, itaenda kufail na haitalipwa. Then kwa sababu ya kujinyima usingizi, maybe tuseme 1 hour ufanye revision, hiyo kazi haitalipwa, and maybe you had even spent more time. Now let me give you a practical example, because you said here it's about beating stories if stories are beaten. I remember a long time ago when I was a teenager, I worked on an order for 2 weeks, okay? I worked on an order for 2 weeks. It was a dissertation, of course, and it was going to be paid heftily. Dissertation yenye nimefanya, all chapters zilikuwa zinakuja 30,000 for one dissertation. So I did the job. 2 weeks I'm writing. Every day I'm going to write so many pages. This one was a 100-page document anyway. I won't lie to you. It was an 100-page document in total, because it had appendices, it had this, but generally the word count, the whatever was necessary of the body, was around 85 pages. When it comes to the words, it was around 85 pages. So I did that. Then now that nimechoka nini, nimemaliza, I submitted it. Then after 3 days, that's when I was called, and I was told, I was called at 15 at night, 3 a.m., and I was told client wanted a few parts to be revised. Okay, and the deadline ya kusubmit hiyo kazi imefika, so alikuwa nataka you revise that part so that they submit it. So I had to wake up and revise and send it back so that the client is satisfied, and then I'm paid. Because I'll tell you the truth, if I couldn't have woken up and serviced these claims, or rather the concerns of the customer, the customer will say that now I can't pay. These guys are petty, I'll just tell you the truth. So you be careful. You might blame people who give you jobs. Like right now, Simon, maybe I give you jobs, then you blame me, but basically it's not me. Hata pia mi najua chenye writers wanapitia. Like for me, I'll understand that you took 2 weeks doing nothing other than servicing this, writing this order, okay? But the client does not understand that. As long as they will pay, it is your duty to deliver. Even if there is no full stop, they'll return the job for revision for you to add a full stop. So don't think hapa utakuja ucheze. That's why I'm saying we were strict because tulifanya ikuwe tough, so that only those people who are serious to manage to complete. Otherwise you, kama unaona ni ngumu hiyo training, we toka tu, because hata huku kwengine ni ngumu zaidi, isn't it? It's more tough. So I will just tell you the truth, okay? So now another thing that I'll talk about is like answering questions. There are guys answering questions kivyao, sijui waliona wapi jameni venye wanajibu maswali, huh? Just answer questions they've been asked. If you're told to list, just write a list. If you're told to do what, and be straight to the point, okay? Don't write too many words, I don't know what, vitu kama hizo. So those are the things that I'm going to tell you, and meanwhile let me just see if I have something else, and then we continue. Yes, so okay. Now, like I was saying, there are many different dilemmas, and me basically I don't know nye mutapitia gani, so as it is right now I cannot even tell. Okay, so I'm going to talk about one thing is reassignment and retraction. So let me just talk a little bit of reassigning and retraction, and I'll tell you the difference. These are the jargons that I used, but rather this is not jargon. This is a little bit formal language, and one that is acceptable far and wide. So what is retraction? What is reassigning? Reassigning now, this is what happens when I give you an order and then I tell you, no, don't do it, I'm giving it to someone else. So that one is reassigning, okay? It might, the difference between reassigning and retraction, okay, retraction is that aspect of you are doing an order and then I take it away. I take it away from you, okay? I don't know if it makes sense. Now that one I've retracted it, but if I reassign it, is I'm giving it to someone else. Suppose, okay, let me say you are, this is a Julian, not Giuliani, okay? This is Julian, and then we have another guy here known as, yeah, let me just draw this person. Now that color is a bit, let me just draw it right then. Now if I take an order here from Julian, yenye Julian alikuwa nafanya nipatie huyu, nimereassign. But I can just take that order and cancel it, okay? That one I've retracted the order. That's the difference. Reassign really goes to someone else, and then retraction does not go to someone else, okay? I think now you've understood. So that's the difference of between reassigning and retracting. Now, uh, you guys just think of okay. Let me just tell you some few things anyway concerning the future of academic writing. So, you guys, what do you think about the future of academic writing? What do you think it's going to? Now, academic writing, one thing to me, I'll say is a place where there's future, of course, but more and more things are coming. And academic writing, the way I'll just write a R. Okay, let me just write a W because I think that's how I'll write. Academic writing, the way I know is divided into canvas, which are classes. They're usually called canvas. Huh? These are usually classes. And then you have these short orders. Huh? Now, these short orders ni hizi zenye tunapatia sahi, like you're given an order, you can do within 1 hour and submit, and then you wait. Classes, these ones are given login details to do the entire class for a student who is mwenye ako majuu. Okay, now why do this student gives you classes for you to do for them? This student, most of them, they are working, okay? And when they are working, they are making more money than what they will do, than what they usually pay you for the class, okay? And they wouldn't risk losing their jobs because of the class, okay? They really need the qualification, yes, but they really don't have that time to get that qualification, except through you guys. So that's the thing that I'll tell you why these guys are working. Most of these clients are Chinese, and they're usually Chinese because these Chinese guys really struggle with language, and they really can't take that risk to fail and score low in these courses. Okay, so maybe you get a C or a D. There's no need. Why don't you just get a person to do for you and get an A and and be recommended? Okay. Another thing I'll say is that these classes nowadays, after that expose that you've had, there's a guy who exposed that Kenyans are the ones doing classes for guys in America, what, blah, 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 all that balgadash. Yeah? So things have been, uh, protocols have been put in place so that to curb cheating. Protocol. They have this protocol. If that's plural, I don't know. So happens is that nowadays, to make sure that the student is the one who is doing the work, they will call the student anytime if it is a 6 week course. Okay, so I'll say week 1, week 3, week 6. So anytime hapa katikati, the teacher is going to call the student and ask them a question, or rather to have just a chit chat and ask them questions regarding to the content of the course and what they expected to know about the course by that time. So that's one way. Second way nowadays, invigilation is done through Zoom. Like you guys, you'll just open the laptop, okay? And then when you're doing the final exam, your face is being seen. And then at that time, you have to, at any time, you are going to be told to produce your ID, school ID, your national ID, your driving license, whatever, your credentials, basically, so that to prove that you are the person really doing that work. Now these classes are suffering on that aspect. And then nowadays you also have that issue of VPN. They have put into place uh, uh, mechanisms of identifying that guys who are using VPNs. Okay, so to bypass VPN, there's this aspect of RDP. So RDP, you can use an RDP still and do these things, but now that comes with an extra cost. If you want to know those things, you come learn with East Academia. I mean, this was the most basic training that you guys can have. It was a crash course. You didn't have time maybe to internalize or analyze, but basically those things are what happens. So me, I'm giving you a glimpse. So the other course that when you come, you're going to be shown how to use a library. Like for example, if you want a book, kwenye utaweza pata books, kwenye unaweza pata nini for free of charge. And then you are going to be shown something about time zone, which is also important for you to know. Time zone and time conversion, okay? And then there are things that you are going to be taught all about VPNs, and you are going to be taught about there are VPNs. Some of them you are going to be told so many things, which I won't disclose here because it's part of the package. But right now you can write, and that's the truth. You can really write, and you can work as a writer very comfortably. But if you want to advance into this, then why don't you pay money and come and learn? That one you really can't get it for free, trust me, and nobody will tell you. And then you're going to understand the different clients, like direct client. You're going to talk about how these direct clients are supposed to be handled. Huh? So there's a lot to learn. So that is an advanced course. Okay. So once you cover that course, sidhani kama kutakuwa na kitu kuhusu writing utakuwa ujui. So if you're ambitious, if you want to know, if you want to become an entrepreneur, if you want to manage it yourself, it's up to you. But anyway, what I'll say is that to this far, you can do good. But I'll advise you, before you even think of coming to this course first, the advanced one, make sure you write for about 1 year or 2 years so that you understand the dynamics of writing, because you really can't do this thing as a job if you really don't understand it. So we mwanzo fanya andika, alafu ndo ukuje useme okay, hii imeisha, shika hii, nifonyeshe hii na hii na hii yote. So that ikifika hiyo time when I want to show you this, that, unaradanisha tu mbio mbio. So that's the thing. So if I want to say something, then I think I've covered a lot, and plus I've talked a lot today, isn't it? So you guys, there'll be one final exam after this video, which is an exam that is going to really cover, it's going to really cover almost everything throughout the course, okay? To see how much you have retained, okay? Because that is what is important, how much you have retained. But I'll tell you one thing, do not ever write any material that is off topic. Do not. Kama ujui achana nayo, but end up, don't write things that are off topic. So accept a job that you can do, make sure you can interpret the question well and understand. And if you do not understand the question, achana na hiyo kazi, because nobody will assist you. Like for me, you can't call me to interpret for you the question, not unless you tell me now tutagawana hiyo do, isn't it? Because that's my intellectual property. I'm using my mind to interpret for you the questions. That's not my work. So if you want me to interpret for you the question, if you're going to be paid 3,000 in that order, then divide that money by 2, because I'm the one who have done the thinking, and you've done the right. So good practice is that you think and you write. That's all. And that's how you can grow. Otherwise, if you cannot think, then don't think of coming even to advance the course, because it won't assist you. You will want to manage yourself. All of a sudden, everything is crumbling and you come back to where you began. Because nimeona watu wana rush sana. And at the end of the day, things become too overwhelming. We kwenye uko sahi, I'll tell you that's the best position you can be if you want to be comfortable. Do not aspire to be like me, because being like me, you have to, it's okay, it's sweet, of course. It has returns, of course. It has a lot of things, of course. But getting here, it has been a challenge. But for me, I will show you. But you come and appreciate me, give me a financial incentive. Let me talk financial language. By the way, I'm a jack of all trades. Jack of all trades, I mean, is that I wear very many hats. Okay? I wear very many hats. I am currently, if I talk about myself, acha ni floss kidogo. Nataka kumaliza hii course bila hata kujua mnadili na nani. Now, for me, I am a field enumerator. Okay? I am a tutor. Actually, I teach. Okay? I am a tutor. And at the same time here, okay, I'm a East Academia. I'm in East Academia, and I'm also in Raitol Academics. Okay, all these two places I hold very significant positions, and I have a very large say. Okay, so even the stamps, it's me to put a signature for something to be stamped, including invoices and payments. So I'm a big man. And then one thing, I survey things, also I'm a surveyor. Okay, and then I won't talk a lot because nyingine hapa, I've seen even somebody's frowning just because of me listing things. Acha tu. But anyway, you just know I'm a simple man, and this is my name, Brian Modena, and you feel free. You can always come, communicate, and talk. So those are the things that I want you to know. If there's something else, I think I will share with you, but I think I've covered much. And the exam, I was talking about the exam. So this exam, it will be like a 2 hours exams, and it will be done synchronously. Like it is timed 2 hours. Exams tutawaita mkuje Zoom meeting kwanza for 5 minutes, where you are going to give you all instructions about the exams. If you're not going to be on the Zoom meeting, you'll definitely not receive the paper to do. And then you are going to send the exam as a Word document in your emails for you to answer, okay? And when you answer, we expect you to return that paper within 2 hours. Sawa. Yeah. So all this time we've been given you are in power to give, okay, to preempt anything, okay? There's something known as preemption. Let me talk about preemption a little bit, because this is something to deal with the law. You can even Google and see what is the meaning of preemption, okay? Okay, preemption, but I'll just give you the meaning and I'll Google. Preemption is that aspect whereby something that is superior, okay, overrules something that is inferior. But in law, what it means is that when a smaller case decides that BBI is illegal, then a higher case comes and say that BBI is legal, then that means that this higher court has preemption over the lower court. That is what it means in law. Okay, but I'm going to use it now in our practical lives. Like I've been giving you that liberty of preemption of you guys deciding what is important or what to prioritize. And most of you have given this East Academia because let's say if you had 2 priorities, no, 3 or 4 or 5 priorities. I think East Academia was mostly number 4 or 5 huku kwa mkia. But for this particular day, just give it all that you can give it, because you have to meet, and it's probably going to be on a weekend so that you can meet synchronously. Synchronously ni all of us together. So maybe a Saturday. It should be on a Saturday, in fact, not at maybe. On a Saturday, we take 2 hours to do the exams, and then you wait for the results. Now, for your averages, your averages are going to be sent in a span of 1 day, no, not 1 day, 5 days after the what? After the final exam. And then the people who get that direct ticket to 85%. So we still have not changed that. So if you have an average of 85%, then ujue you are good to go. Which 85% is easy to attain because there's some quizzes which people just scored 100. Okay, 100, 100, 100, 100. There wasn't much really to. So week 2 ndo niliona ilikuwa ngumu to most people. But that is maybe because the paper was long or the period that was invested was too much or something like that. But generally, what I will say is that, yeah, the course was successful and you guys have learned. And I will show you how to do things and I'll assist you basically. For me, I have no issues. and I'm going to share a video how to do references well, how to arrange them manually or whatever. So you guys, what I can say is that you have a nice time, okay? And I think with this one, we are completely done with the course. So for those of you, I know most of you are happy not to hear my voice again. But you'll hear it when you want to work, of course. Yeah. And but now it will be on formal capacity, like employer or whatever. So for me, I might be, I don't know whom you're going to get as your facilitator of employment. You might get me or you might get someone else, facilitator, depending on how Rightall is going to assign. But I've been a facilitator. I started facilitating, I think, last month. Actually, sijakuwa nikifacilitate kazi. So facilitator basically is this one is a person who is the one going to be given jobs to writers to do and making sure that these writers grow well. But you might be, since I'm the one who taught you this course and took you through, there's a high chance that I'm the one going to facilitate you for a period of like 2 months. That is if kama mutajoin Rightall. Of course ni kujoin ni hiari yenu na pia ni hiari ya Rightall, so you two people have to agree. Wewe ni utake na Rightall pia wanafaa watake. Either of you kama atakataa, there's no way you will force. Okay, so that is what you should know. There's no way you can force. And the requirements might not be strict, maybe just to write something, a topic or this. But if you want my guidance before you even go to Rightall, you might not have written much here, but we wanted you to basically focused on you getting the general knowledge of how things are, how the industry is, the errors that you can make. So I don't think like, excuse me. So I don't think like you guys now can struggle with this thing because you understand these things anyway. So yes, so you do what you can do, and then mimi hapa kuwafundisha kwa writing nimewafundisha tu vitu kama 10%. I can't cover everything because if I'm to teach you everything word by word, step by step, everything hata tutamaliza hii course, but nilisema this one is a crash course for you to understand things. So now if you've understood things, what I will say is that you can come to me. You can always call me for assistance. I've given you samples venye zinakaa APS 7, APS 6, APS 7, APS 6. I've given a sample on MLA. I've given a sample on Harvard referencing and formatting. So while these are the most common, APA carries around 90% of the bulk, by the way. Most orders ziko in APA, 90%. Then MLA 5, Harvard 3. No, basically these others ni 10 because you have other ones like Oscola. We have something like IEEE. I've never seen it mostly, but it's usually in engineering works. So don't worry about that anyway. But this course I really focused on APA because this is 90%. So this MLA, it's easy. In fact, APA actually is usually the most complex because it has the most complex rules. So if you have understood APA, na APA sasa imefanana na Harvard, other than they cover very little things, but I'll show you. Or rather those templates will show you. And then MLA, hii hata ndo usiseme, hii mboga tu. So basically now you can comfortably do these 3 types of formattings. Okay, so APA we say default is APA 7, MLA, Evo, Harvard, yeah. So what else can I add? Yeah, just be creative. Avoid grammar mistakes, ndo musifanye. Mi sitawadanganya. Like Rightall wakisha kupata kama uko na shida ya kizungu, 3 ama hata 4 times, you are going to receive the email from Writall Academic Support telling you that we are sorry, we can no longer work with you. In fact, some of you are were asking me, why is it that you guys are too strict or what? No, it's not a matter of strictness, it's standard. Writall just has its own standards. Huh? So if you can't match the standards of Writall and they try to improve you, because before you are given that letter, inamaanisha kuwa you have been asked to improve and you are not improving. You have been sent review reports mpaka reviewers wamechoka, because wewe ni ule mwenye askila mwadhini wala la mteka maji msikitini. Okay? So if you are in that situation, then I'll tell you, it will not assist anyone, you, Writall, or what. So it is better you are just told goodbye, isn't it? Yeah. So then what it means is that you should learn. Like for me, hata hapa kwenye nimefika, I'm still learning. It never ends. Okay? It never ends. But we expect you guys to grow. We expect you guys to develop yourselves, okay? And we expect you to uphold yourselves with conduct, good character. So like in those ethical dilemmas zenye mutapitia, venye munafanya, hizo challenges you'll face, be careful to not bite the hand that feeds you. Is a nice repetition. Do not bite the what? Do not bite the hand that feeds you. So if you know somewhere is a source of a food, or it's a source of whatever, a source of money, make sure you respect it. Same thing to an office. Respect your office and you'll see returns. If you misuse your office, you know what happens. So it's the same analogy that applies here. Analogy. I've used another term. Analogy. So what is an analogy? Ni the same example kitu ka hiyo. Analogy inafanana na hii. Analogy, it's like I think you, even in the quizzes you came across that word. Using an analogy of a house, compare academic writing, something, a question like that. And some of you said, like building a house, academic writing, you also need to plan, because houses have plans before they're built. So basically, that's it. Is there anything, I don't know if there's anything that you people so wish for me to say, but that's it. And that's now the complete course of academic writing training. And I hope you're happy now that we've come to the end. And let me just write a big the end here, because it was really interesting, by the way, assisting you guys. It's an opportunity, it's a privilege, and I felt really happy now that I've known you, and you guys will live to remember me, isn't it? Yes, I just wanted to make an impact and assist 3 or 4, but eventually you guys now have assisted several guys. So I'm happy. I feel fulfilled and I feel like I've done something and I've helped someone. So you guys have a nice time. But remember, anytime you have a challenge, you can contact me. You still have my contact. And those of you who are going to apply to Writall Academics and get accepted, I wish you all the best. Probably we'll meet there. For those of you who will want to advance on the course, we might also meet there. And anytime you guys will want to talk concerning these academic writing issues, feel free to inform me. So otherwise, I have nothing much to say. We are done with the course, and I'm free now. I'm releasing you to go work and show the skills, to show the industry the skills that you guys have obtained from this course. So you guys don't let me down. I don't expect you guys to go off topic. I don't expect you guys to have grammar mistakes, tautologies. I don't know run-on sentences, commas, places, okay? Anaphoras, things like those. So because I taught you, I took my time to teach you. Hata hii video yenyewe ukiangalia ile length yenye iko nayo you know that it isn't easy, isn't it? So you guys try and understand what you are writing. I don't want to see or hear that, oh, this one was taught by Brian, and look at what he's writing. I don't even know what this guy is writing or what. No, 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 please. If you feel like you're not confident enough, tell me. I'll just give you like three topics, 400 words. You write for me, submit them, correct you until I'll tell you now you are good to go. That's all. Yeah. That's all. And then you'll be good when you're good. At least you go do your work, earn money. You'll earn more money than the one even you could have paid me if you were to pay me. So you appreciate. And then, yes, that's all. So have a nice time. Thank you.